Hi, I'm Bill Snodgrass, and in this episode I'm going to answer a question that I get asked very frequently. And then the question is this: what kind of camera should I buy? Now here's the answer. This is my answer. That depends. And then that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my answer. But in order for this video not to be, this very short, I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit more. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Now, in the 21st century, almost everyone has a smartphone that takes pictures, or a phone of some sort that takes pictures. And if all you're trying to do is, capture a selfie once in a while and a sunset once in a while, and you want maybe take some pictures of your friends and you doing something funny, or you doing something if you just, almost a vast majority, I'm not going to make up a number, of pictures, the smartphone is going to be sufficient for that. There's just so much power in these phones now that the need to go to a more sophisticated camera almost brings you to sort of a specialized situation. And what is that specialized situation? The specialized situation is you want more creative control over things like sensitivity, shutter speed, aperture, and you want to be able to change the focal length of the lens, zoom in, zoom out. So that is going to be your decision point. Are you trying to take some sports pictures? You probably aren't going to be happy with your camera phone pictures for that. Are you trying to do some high quality portrait work? It's a lot of work to do that on a camera phone, but you can pull it off, but it's easier if you have some other resources available. Do you want some very sophisticated, specific lighting techniques done in your picture? Very difficult to pull off on a smartphone. The next step up is going to be what I call like an integrated lens camera. This is a PowerShot SX530H something, HS. This is a good little camera with a 50 power optical zoom. For outside daylight sports, this is a very sufficient camera for doing some more sophisticated landscape work where you want some control, because you have the settings to set it into aperture mode, manual, or shutter mode, and then all the creative modes are still there as well. Plus it also does some video. So for a next step up, it's going to bring you to a price point. And I'm going to put some of these pictures up from Amazon, let you see kind of where these prices are as the day of this video. And I'll also will make an affiliate link down in the description if you want to check some things out with more detail. But at this price point, there are a lot of different cameras. Canon and Nikon and Sony, and a lot of people make cameras in this kind of compact integrated model. Why would you want to step up from an integrated lens model to a DSL or a mirrorless that has interchangeable lenses? Because it has interchangeable lenses. Now this is going to move you to another price point, and it's going to give you the option of being able to get a very specific lens for a very specific case, such as a lens dedicated for portrait work with a very wide open aperture that allows you to get a very shallow depth of field, or a very long telephoto lens that will allow you to capture sports action up close. This is going to allow you to change those lenses out. And depending on your needs, you may have one lens for going around at an event, and you may have another lens for doing sports, and another lens for doing up-close personal work and portraits. The interchangeable lens is going to introduce a much higher grade of glass, although there are economy versions of the interchangeable lenses as well. There are also high-quality lenses that would be far superior in glass quality than in an integrated body model. The price point at the DSLR is going to be much higher, and the flexibility is also going to go up as well. So you have to ask yourself, back to my original statement, which camera should you buy? It depends. It depends on what you want to do, and it depends on how much you want to learn about doing it. And depending on that, there's a lot of ways that you can go, and a lot of brands that you can explore, and there's a lot of great cameras out there at all different levels that do all kinds of different things. You also need to consider how much video you're going to do versus how much are you only going to do still lifes and photographs. That's another consideration that's going to bring in a whole nother set of questions regarding what kind of camera should you buy. That's it for this episode. Basically, you've got kind of three choices in the 21st century. You've got your very high quality camera phone that is going to cover a vast majority of situations. The next step up is going to be your integrated camera. It's going to give you creative control over shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. And then finally, you're going to have your interchangeable lens, DSLR or mirrorless camera that has a lot more flexibility in the long run. You're going to have to decide, do you want to spend a chunk of money now and then later spend a bigger chunk, or save up now and spend a bigger chunk right out of the gate? That's it for this episode. I'm not sure if this is going to be the kind of video that everybody goes, oh, well, that answered all my questions. But I think, you know, it sort of overviews the situation and points you in the direction of answering those questions for yourself. As you analyze your needs and investigate the options out there, you can come to a good choice. Please, if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, leave me a comment or a question, a suggestion. Sign up for notifications, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in photography, videography. I also do a lot of inspirational videos and life lessons. You can find those here as well. And occasionally do something else weird, or also do occasionally a science video. So thank you for watching. Please, again, like, comment, subscribe. That's all for this video. I will see you in the next one.